broke-ass media gas bags and pizza stain, Danny Wolkin, who is America's worst. He works for USA Today, and those of you that, well, don't know him, you probably shouldn't. But anyway, he and crazy-ass Nancy Moore, I'm not sure who she works with. Maybe it's the Chicago Sun-Times. Maybe it's USA Today. I don't know. They're back at it again, serving up more awful takes. And I love it. This time in regards to controversial transgender volleyball player Blair Fleming of San Jose State. This has become a big story. Now, before I get into the idiots, I'm going to tell you my solution. I've only told you this 1,000 times. Solution, very simple. You're transitioning boy to girl, play with the boys. You're transitioning girl to boy, play with the boys. It's pretty simple. Let Blair Fleming play. Free Blair Fleming. Make her play against the boys. See if she can make the team. I mean, isn't that what we're striving for? I mean, isn't that what we're trying to do? Live our best lives. Why do our best lives always have to be lived against women? I don't get it. But hey, that's all right. Wolkin replied to our friend Danny Z's story. Now, Danny Z has been covering this story. He was out at the trial, then he went to Vegas for the tournament. Good for Danny Z. Danny Wolkin says San Jose is 6-6 in Mountain West games that are actually played. If you have any doubt about the sincerity of this grift, everything's a grift when you don't agree with fat-ass, pizza-stained, big man boob Danny Wolkin. Everything's a grift. You must agree. Because Danny Wolkin is a liberal. You must agree. You must agree. If you don't agree, then you got a problem. Well, this is a massive, massive story. This is not going to slow down, but I have the answer. I continue to give you the answer. Make them all play against the boys. See if they can make a team. It's that simple. Clay chimes in. So your argument, Danny Wolkin, pizza-stained Danny Wolkin, as we can consider him, is that men who compete in women's sports are only an issue if the men are on good women's teams. That's a great point. Left-wing sports writers have lost their minds and are competing to see who can be the craziest. There's no doubt about it. Left-wing sports writers are out of their mind. You know our personal favorite, the little creeper Greggy Doyle, when he went, I want to talk to you, Caitlin Clark. Man, he referred to Joe Biden as simply a nice old man. How's that working out as Biden has continued to lie and lie and lie? Clay not done here because, well, when you come at the king, you best not miss because the king will keep firing. The king, in this case, is our good friend Clay Travis. Clay Travis says, so Dan Wolkin, would it be grifting if Little League parents opposed a 16-year-old playing on a 12-year-old's team? If the team he was on wasn't that good? That's a great question, but Danny Wolkin isn't going to answer. Danny Wolkin fires shots and tries to put his man's ear on and then walks around and shows pictures of him somewhere fancy. Because Danny Wolkin don't know his sexual proclivities, don't know if he's married, not married, don't know what he is. But Danny Wolkin likes to show you that he's a traveler. But Danny Wolkin, he likes to fire shots. There's the pizza-stained one. Look at him. He's at the Live. He's at the Pushtabla. Something like that. The pizza-stained, big-boobed one, well, he can't respond because Danny Wolkin doesn't. See, these crazy-ass people, they fire their shots, and, of course, when logic chimes in, they go away, thinking that they have won because they fired their shots. Oh, okay. Whatever you have to say. For all the shrieking there is about transgender women athletes, it's the cisgender women pushing the forfeits who cost their fellow athletes opportunity to play and saddle their teams with losses. That's Nancy Moore posting in a column called Opinion, ruling in San Jose State volleyball case reveals face of transgender hysteria. No one's hysterical. There's no hysteria. It's just simple. Women have fought for years and years and years to be able to compete, to be able to get scholarships, to get equal footing in the landscape of college and professional athletics, even high school athletics. I've told the story many times of my wife, who was an exceptional athlete, having to move. And this isn't that long ago. This is the 90s, having to move from Ohio to Michigan so that she could play softball in high school. They didn't even have women's softballs in high school in Ohio. Nah, it's ridiculous. But anyway, women have fought for it, and now dudes who should be playing against dudes, or women transitioning to dudes who should be playing against dudes, are now a hysteria, according to crazy-ass Nancy Armour. I will say this. This old hag was actually a writer that I think I read back when she was the Chicago Tribune. Forgot she was alive. Couldn't imagine this old hag was still alive. But apparently she is. Good for her. Now, she can call out people, but can you imagine the hysteria if this was 3 years ago, me using the word hag to describe a woman that is, in fact, that? Could you imagine? Oh, my God. People would be losing their mind. Cancel Dakich, they would say. Actually, Wolkin tried years back. It's pretty funny. But anyway, Nancy it's cisgender. Why don't we just say women? What's this cisgender? What? For 57 and a half years, I live with, hey, you're a dude, you're a chick. Hey, you're transgender. Good for you. Don't care. Why would I care? But now it's cisgender and all this other little stuff. I tell you what, it's the Mina Kimes school of talking millennial or talking Gen Z or talking Gen X or all those other things you all make up. It's those women, not the San Jose player, that are the real threat. Yeah, sure is. I mean, this goes back to the 50s, the 60s, except it's a woman saying this. Back in those days, men didn't want women doing anything. Back in those days, 70s and 80s, women had to fight for every damn thing against men. Now, women have to fight in sports for every damn thing against other women. Why? Because those women are posing as liberals, that are posing as someone that is, well, on the right side of history. That's what they always say. We're on the right side of history. No, you're not. You're an idiot. No, you're not. You're dumb. No, you're not. You're posing. No, you're not. You're the same people that said vote for Kamala Harris. You're the same people that told us Joe Biden is just a nice old man. You don't base anything in facts. You base everything in emotion. Like a woman like Nancy Moore literally knows nothing about sports. I mean, there isn't a single thing she could tell you about sports. But like every woman reporter and every woman announcer, they talk about feelings. It's feelings. You ever listen to the sideline girl at a football game? It's all about feelings and how the coach got them all fired up today. If you had the, honest to God, the ridiculous opportunity, or what's the right word for it? I don't know. If you fell victim to having to watch ESPN's duo of Debbie Antonelli, nice woman, and Beth Mowins, a nice woman. Man, broadcast games from the Battle for Atlantis. You know it's all about feelings. It isn't about actual basketball. It's about feelings. Honest to God, we had to listen to that here in Indiana for a couple of Indiana games, and you're like, Jesus Christ. You know who turned me on to this? My wife. My wife turned me on to this. She broadcasts games for Fox and on the Big Ten Network. And she's like, I tell you what, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be one of these female sports writers. I'm not going to be one of these female basketball and volleyball analysts, and all they can do is talk about feelings. The angry lesbian that is in charge of softball at ESPN hired a bunch of little girls to do softball at ESPN. They all look the same. They all talk about feelings. Her name was Meg Aronowitz. Everything's about feelings. Well, this isn't about feelings. This is about women standing up for themselves. This is about women defending their turf, which they have every right to be. The real danger is never the actual athletes. The real danger is always the media. Hell, the media got elected a vegetable in 2020. They tried again with a complete idiot. They actually tried again with a compulsive liar. Then they transitioned to a complete idiot. No. Donald Trump said it best. The real threat here, the enemy of the people, is the media. People like pizza-stained Dan Wolkin. People like crazy-ass hag, whatever you want to call her, Nancy Moore. They're horrible human beings. They have no regard for anything other than to try to take a stand. And it's the wrong stand. I hate to even say it's the wrong stand. It's their stand. But when they come at everybody, they come at women defending women, it's the wrong stand. We should support women in sports. And look, I've said it before, there is nobody more inclusive than me. There is nobody more open-minded than me. Women transitioning to men, go play with the men. Blair Fleming, you're transitioning, you're a dude, to a chick, Go play with the men. There's no rule in the NCAA book that says every person transitioning must play against the women. How many times do I have to say this? A couple national clowns have figured it out, but not these two. It's really simple. I want transgender athletes to participate. I want them to have opportunity. Go do it against the men. Why not? You can't give me a why not. You can't give me an answer. Because it's the same reason that you can't give me an answer when I ask why do they always play against women. You can't give me an answer. There is no bylaw 672-1A in the NCAA or transgender or whose sex is who yearbook, rule book. None. How to Choose the Sex of a Baby was a book that my wife and I used to have a son. There's no rule in there. There's no rule at any gynecologist's office. There's no rule anywhere that says every single transgender person must play against women. So just make it a thing. Hey, Yale had a dude transitioning to had a woman transitioning to a man. Why is he, she, whatever, playing on the Yale softball team? While a dude from Penn, Leah Thomas, was transitioning from a dude to a woman. Why is he, she, whatever, playing on the women's team, swim team? It don't make no sense. And Dan Wolken, you don't have any answers. You just got you and crazy-ass Nancy Amore. You lived up to your nickname. Crazy-ass Nancy Amore and pizza-stained liberal, I'm not even going to say the word, Dan Wolken, you did what you do best. Lived up to a nickname. Hey, Rivalry Weekend did not disappoint. Rivalry Weekend, well, the games were really good. The game with Michigan and Ohio State was really good in a weird, bad way. A lot of media attention has focused on the post-game scuffles, most notably the brawl at the end of the Michigan-Ohio State game. Here it is a little bit. Here's some of it. Well, I don't know if we have any audio. If you can, I can't hear it. So, I don't know. Oh, it's just video. All right, here's the deal. Michigan acted like Michigan acts. Like, let's be honest. Michigan, with their coach acting like a complete dumbass, and headed to the Poulan Weed Eater Bowl or the Copper Bowl or the Danny D. Deer in the Headlights Bowl, got all excited because they won a meaningless football game against Michigan. Now, you're going to tell me how meaningful it is. Well, you don't understand rivalry. I understand rivalries. Are you kidding me? I got 75 cents actually, thrown at me on the court after my fourth foul in the Indiana-Purdue game at Mackey Arena. I understand rivalries better than any of you. But I don't understand the planting the flag. You didn't take over a nation. You won a football game. And then everybody gets so riled up that you got to have pepper spray involved. Now, I think it's complete bullshit. And I think it's a reflection on the childish coach at Michigan, Sherrone Moore. Good for Sherrone Moore, man. He's 2-0 against Ohio State. That'll get him a lifetime deal. And good for the Big Ten that Sherrone Moore and his 7-5 or 6-5, whatever the hell his record is, stays at Michigan. You don't want somebody that can actually get it done at Michigan. You want a clown that's waving the fans, acting like a dumbass at Michigan, acting like a child. So his players did the same. Jack Sawyer, he melted down post-game over Michigan planting the flag. Now, Jack Sawyer, how about this? I mean, 0-4 against Michigan. 0-4. When he came to Ohio State, they were coming off a 7-0 run. Here's Jack Sawyer, the vaunted linebacker who came back to play at Ohio State for just this game. And he made a great play in the game, too. Here's Jack Sawyer.
The flag on our field again, bro! Guys, where's the flag on our field?
Well, if Jack Sawyer really wanted a piece of the action, there's no guy in a backpack going to hold him back. He's a big, strong, crazy kid. Made a hell of a play, though. I mean, look, Michigan players are dumbasses. Ohio State players had every right to go back at it. And the Ohio police or whoever it was had every single right to pepper spray these idiots in the middle of the field. Now, we all know what happens, right? We all know what happens. We all know that that's the noon game. So the other entitled idiots that are making a lot of money playing college sports and have basically neutered their coach in terms of discipline saw this and go, man, that's cool. So North Carolina State did it to North Carolina. Late in the evening, Arizona State did it to Arizona. We saw it in Florida with Florida State. I don't want to miss any of the idiots that actually do this, and I wrote it down. Oh, South Carolina with my favorite head coach did it at Clemson. See, it's a copycat world. Now, the Big Ten only fined Ohio State and Michigan $100,000. That needs to be $1 million. You need to go through the tape, and you need to suspend players that were involved. That's what I think you should do if you want to stop this. I don't know who does it, though. The NCAA is feckless. Charlie Baker doesn't even live here, where the headquarters are. Hey, he's like, yeah, I'll take the job. Nobody else will take it. I'm going to live in Massachusetts. Nah, we're good. What are you talking about? Anyway, so this guy, Jack Sawyer, who's a big tough guy, he's yelling. Great. Good for him. Ryan Day, who is under immense heat right now. Like, you wake up. I want you to think about this. You're Ryan Day. You went to, like, the University of New Hampshire, played for Chip Kelly. You got your dream job. You got more money than you can ever imagine, right? Beautiful family, fantastic life, but you're the most miserable human being in the world. Why? Because you've lost 4 straight to Michigan, a.k.a. the team up north. Yay, rah. Go fight, win. Ryan Day, well, he says they weren't going to let him plant that flag.
Yeah, I don't know all the details of it, but I know that, these guys, are looking to, put a flag on our field, and our guys weren't going to let that happen. So, I'll find out exactly what happened. But, this is our field, and certainly, we're embarrassed with the fact that we lost the game. But there's some prideful guys in this team that weren't just going to let that happen.
He's right. I don't blame him. I'll never blame the home team for doing that. In fact, this started in 2017 when Baker Mayfield's dumbass did that at Ohio State. And I've always wondered, why haven't there been brawls? I do. I've always wondered that. It's the dumbest thing to do. Like I said, you haven't taken over a nation. You haven't conquered a country. You won a meaningless football game. And it's meaningless. Like I said, Ohio State, win or lose, was going to the playoff. Michigan, I guess they played their way into a meaningless bowl. Yay! Good for both of them. Both coaches should be embarrassed. The players of Ohio State should be embarrassed. They let a sorry-ass Michigan team. And to you Michigan fans, suck it. Indiana beat you. One of the things that came out of it was little media wonks in Michigan. Well, Ohio State's Dakich's team, Buckeye Dan. I can give a rat's ass about Ohio State or Michigan, except when my son, the only basketball player ever, very proud to say, on scholarship at both institutions. I care less. I watched the game with my stepson. He was yelling and screaming. I finally had to tell him, shut the hell up. I did. I wanted to hear that Mullings kid. I thought Mullings was kind of an interesting kid. We got him somewhere in here, I thought. Maybe I missed it. Yeah, there he is. Here comes Caleb Mullings saying Ohio State needs to learn how to lose. Here's pretty good running back that made the play of the game. I love this stuff.
What's going through your head right now?
Yeah, it was for such a great game. You hate to see stuff like that after the game. It's just bad for the sport, bad for college football. But at the end of the day, some people gotta learn how to lose, man. You can't be fighting and stuff just because you lost a game. All that fighting, we had 60 minutes, we had 4 quarters to do all that fighting. And now people want to talk and fight. That's wrong. It's just bad for the game, classless in my opinion. And people got to be better.
Well, yeah, except his idiot teammates who don't know how to win, apparently, brought the flag out. What do you think's going to happen? Like, we're just going to let you idiots run out there? Come on. Not happening. No, it's not. Mike Loxley. No, wait. We got Davis Warren, the quarterback, who threw the worst interception in the history of that series. But, hey, give him credit, man. He came back and led a game-winning drive. Here's the walk-on quarterback.
We're going to win in your house, and we're going to plant the flag. You should have done something about it.
Yeah, and that's the prevailing theme of the stupid. Like, it really is. I mean, that's the prevailing thing. When idiots that are all hepped up put on helmets and they have their pads on, and they start fighting to the point where police have to use pepper spray, which, by the way, you know Reverend Al Jamel Hill and others are going to get pictures of white cops pepper spraying idiotic athletes, some of whom are black, some of whom are white, but they'll illustrate the black athletes and talk about races. You watch. That's coming by Wednesday. Yeah, well, when they got to do that, then Davis Warren or Warren Davis, whatever the hell you is, go play. You had your day and move it along. I don't know how some of these guys got into Michigan. Speaking of, I don't know how some of these guys got in somewhere. I got no idea how Mike Locksley and his 1-32 record with every single ridiculous thing you could possibly do at New Mexico, including sexual assault allegations, recruit driving his car drunk. I mean, this guy, and when he was hired at New Mexico, see, I don't do Reaction Monday. When Mike Locksley, the Maryland coach, was an assistant at Illinois, and they hired him at New Mexico, the man that hired him was a friend of mine named Paul Krebs. He was my athletic director at Bowling Green. He became the athletic director at New Mexico. He hired him. I saw Locksley's press conference. I called him up. I said, "What are you doing? This guy's a stone idiot." No. He's a great recruiter. Jeez. Mike Locksley is the dumbest human being ever to lead a team. Now, on a personal note, Locksley has had some family tragedy, and that's awful. But this is strictly football. Scott Van Pelt used to argue with me. I go, just watch. He's an idiot. Locksley's like in his 7th or 8th year now, and he's still getting his ass beat by other teams. He got his ass beat by Penn State. Mike Locksley was pissed at Penn State coach James Franklin for scoring a touchdown on the final play of the game to go up 44-7. 8 years in, Locksley's still a freaking mess. He's still a train wreck. Here is Locksley after the game, or here's the confrontation.
Hey, Mike, what was the exchange with James in midfield there?
I was asked about his family, Christmas cards, address, all those things. It was bullshit. Is what it was. I respect the game. I got a lot of respect for James, his program. I think it was bullshit.
Mike Locksley's still a mess. 8 years in. 8 years in. And Mike Locksley is still bitching, whining, and moaning about, well, somebody running the score. I mean, at some point, win a game. I mean, honest to God, win a game. So here's James Franklin's answer. And James Franklin is 1,000% right here. And if you disagree, then you're dumb. I don't say that very often. Dumb meaning you're not paying attention to what's going on in college sports. Because Franklin is 1,000% correct here. Here's James Franklin, the Penn State coach.
It didn't look like it was the smoothest post-game handshake. Is that the statistics and their ones still in there, or can you explain that last touchdown?
Yeah, I get it, right? At the end of the game, we throw a touchdown. I get it. But a couple things I will say. My job is to put the 3s and 4s in the game. But when the 3s and 4s get to go in the game, they get to play football. Those guys deserve to play football. Your 1s are in the game. You were trying to score. We're trying to score. On top of that, you're playing cover 0. If you don't want, play cover 2. So I'm good with it. And on top of that, there's also a change in college football. We are trying to play as long as we can, make the playoffs, and be seeded as high as possible. And scoring as many points and a point differential matters. All that matters. And if you don't get that, it's really not my problem. So, W, 1-0. I'm good with it. Anybody that's not, that's their problem.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. He's 1,000% right. Indiana fake punt up 35 or 48-0, 166 to zip over arch rival Purdue. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Indiana, beating Purdue is what you want to do. The old Oak and Bucket, pull this, it plays Jingle Bells. Don't care about all that. What we care about is this. We care about the playoffs, which we're going to reveal right now. That's right, Aaron and Gary. That's right. We're going to reveal it right now. Let's go. There's the top 12. Oh, it's bullshit. Indiana's 10. Oregon, Texas, SMU, and Boise. Those are the top 4, and those are by conference affiliation, with Boise sneaking in there. Penn State 5, Notre Dame 6. I tell you what, Notre Dame looks damn good to me. Georgia, my ass. How does Georgia move up? Georgia barely beat a horse bleep team in Georgia Tech. They suck, but I don't want Indiana to play them. Don't tell anybody I don't want Indiana to play them, because at Georgia, that could be a problem. Tennessee, Nico, my ass. And everybody's bad except Indiana. I do want a rematch with Ohio State. I'm going to be watching that from a beachfront bar, baby, dressed in all Indiana stuff if it happens. Those Ohio State punks. I tell you what. If Indiana wins, plant the damn flag. Indiana 10, Miami 11. Arizona State sneaks in there now. America's most normal coach, who is our friend Shane Beamer. We got to get Beamer on. I was DMing with him the other night. Very happy for him. He's got to get on there. But anyway, I get fired up because Indiana's going, all right, let's show it. Let's show who did what to whom. The brackets. Where's the brackets? All right, Ohio State, Tennessee, got to play Oregon. Hey, that 5 spot is where it's at, man. Penn State, Arizona State. I like that Dillingham guy. He got a big bonus and gave it to the janitors and the behind-the-scenes people. Relay that with Calvin Sampson and his stupidity. When he was at Indiana, he asked me, how do you know these janitors' name? I said, because I'm not a selfish pig. Miami got to go to Notre Dame. Notre Dame will kick their ass, and then Notre Dame will kick SMU's ass, and Notre Dame will make it into the Final Four. Indiana, Georgia. I don't like it. I don't like this route. I want Indiana to be 6th. Indiana deserves to be 6th. Or if Indiana can be 12 and play in that 5 game at Ohio State, I don't know. But I don't want you 6th. No. Where's Indiana? Right there. Those are my boys. We're never daunted. We shall not falter. In the battle, we're tried and true. We're not showing anybody? What? Why aren't we showing everybody's picks? I had Indiana 5. That's horse bleep. Why? Because I embarrassed them for their horse bleep picks? Show the picks. Show the picks. Show the picks. We're not showing the picks. I got it right here. They said, Dan, we are no longer showing the graphics with everyone's headshots. FYI. Then wait a second. Are you guys fixing this? Is the fix in so Tennessee gets in and they get an 8th seed, a home game? Au contraire. Show the picks. All right, Texas heads to the SEC championship. I'm not sure Texas has ever won the Big 12. I think the SEC is the most overrated conference in America. I watched that Nico guy. He played in the Big 10, the thick ankles that break him in half. Texas A&M, I got 2 words for you, my ass. I didn't know this, but Russ Bjorken, who is now the AD at Ohio State, when Jimbo Fisher left, his first call was to, guess who? Urban Meyer. Interesting. What does that say if they fire Ryan Day? Georgia wins. It was an 8 overtime thriller. I went to the Pacer game. We're driving home. By the way, the Pacers sucked. And we're driving home. It is a 14-point deficit for Georgia with 5 minutes and 21 seconds to go. I looked at my stepson, Jared. I go, man, that's clear as one for Indiana. We got home. We're drinking a little bit of wine. The game is on, and we're like, whoa, look at this thing. Both teams had chances to win it. Both teams didn't. It was a hell of a game. Good for Georgia. They pulled it out. The Gamecocks are my team. America's most normal coach, Shane Beamer, got it done late on a big-time scramble by his quarterback to go into Clemson, South Carolina, and kick Clemson's ass in the Palomino Bowl or whatever the hell it is. Yeah. Oh, man. You know my ex-wife, my current wife, excuse me. Hopefully never my ex-wife. She's the love of my life. Anyway, my wife and her kids, they grew up in Syracuse. She was a Syracuse softball coach. Well, we root for Syracuse. My stepson and I watched that game. The Cuse got it done. And to make it even better, my stepson and I were live betting it. when Cuse was up 7, then down, then up. It was a hell of a game. Indiana. I'm working on Signetti. Can you guys get a hold of Jeff Keg, see if Signetti can come on? He's doing shows everywhere. If you don't do the King show, what are you doing? But anyway, man, 66-0. They beat Purdue. Hey, I went to this restaurant. It's a big old place. It's called the Ale Emporium. If you're ever in Indy, it's the best place to watch games and eat great food. Not kind of good food. The Hermanaki wings are nationally known. The pizza, unbelievable. We ate it all and had 1,000,000 beers. Yeah, we did. Anyway, we're watching the game. The bar, literally, it's a big old place, has 800 people. And my buddy Brett Glaze got us a table right in front, right there. So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden I look around, and I told my boy Stewie, I go, Stewie, everybody's gone. It was such a rout. We were very happy. Colorado beat the dog out of Mike Gundy. When does Mike Gundy, whatever the hell his name is, when does he ever win? Like, if I was T. Boone Pickens' heirs, I'd be like, yo, we gave you everything. You always lose. It's kind of Clemson. Got that ass beat. USC, Lincoln Riley, it ain't happening. Notre Dame got that done. Alabama beat the dog out of a bad team. Auburn and Mizzou. I don't even pay attention to Missouri. That coach seems like a D-bag unless he comes on our show, in which case he's a good dude. I don't even pay attention to him. I'm going to skip over one here. I got to tell you. Joe Biden signed a petition, signed a pardon for his son Hunter Biden yesterday. After Hunter was convicted of federal gun charges and federal tax evasion charges earlier this year, claiming he has taken the controversial action after he watched his son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted, which covers all offenses committed, listen to this, by Hunter Biden going back to 2014 when, oh, by the way, he started with that Burisma crew and Joe Biden became the big guy. What a dirtbag family. I don't blame you for pardoning your kid. I don't. You got to pardon your kid. I mean, let's be honest. The media is already covering for Joe Biden. But my God, all offenses committed by Hunter against United States between January 1st, 2014 and December 1st, 2024, including any crimes for which he has not been charged after previously claimed he would never pardon Hunter. How about the 51 intelligence officers that said, yo, that Russian or that laptop, fake news. I love Emma Jo Morris. I wish we had Emma Jo Morris on. I think the powers to be said we can't have strictly political people on. Yeah, I don't like it. I like Emma. Free Emma Jo Morris. She's the best thing. She has Hunter Biden's laptop in her possession. She's the one that broke the story. What an amazing thing. So any crimes that your dumbass son, the smartest guy that you know, the crack addict, every crime that he did, which is apparently a lot, the Biden family just got away with it. This opens the door for a lot of things, mostly the January 6th folk, to be pardoned by Donald Trump, which I hope he does on his first day in office. No, seriously. Hey, we must discuss this. History in the making. For the first time, the Chicago Bears fired a coach midseason. The organization had never done that before. Matt Eberflus, a.k.a. Fluss, to all the guys here in Indy. The guys here in Indy love Fluss. They were so stupid, the media here, they didn't understand that Fluss was getting fired. Until Ryan Poles, I think it was Poles, maybe it was the guy before him, stupidly relied on Bill Polian. Grandpa Polian sold the Bills a bill of goods. I watched the Bears. I heard Fluss talk in press conferences, and I'm like, he's an idiot. My wife grew up with him. Nice guy, but a moron when it came to football. In fact, he lived and was a member of the same golf course I was on, and everybody liked him. Good for them. Bad clock management, where I don't know how it happened, but with 30 seconds left in a timeout, they got one playoff, and it was at the buzzer. He was dead man walking on Thanksgiving. Despite being the move the majority of fans were pulling for, ESPN's Courtney Cronin, another one of these, it's about feelings, Courtney Cronin. Courtney Cronin has been in a locker room for three things: take a peek, get an autograph, and ask a question. She don't know shit. She went to Indiana. She does not know one damn thing. She is the ultimate DEI hire. But everybody's mad at how. Oh, I don't like how they did it. Oh, shut up. Just like with Shane Walden, it was evident well before now that a firing would take place. Matt Eberflus waited 2 days after the Patriots lost to fire Walden, even though the writing was on the wall in the way he addressed questions about Walden's job security after the game. So what? These are people's lives, you idiot. See, Courtney Cronin, you got to figure out before you fire somebody, what is our liability? What do we have? What do we owe? Can we do it? What's the contractual? And sometimes people aren't the easiest to get a hold of. But Courtney Cronin, because of feelings. It's not about actual football stuff. It's always about feelings with little girl reporters. It is. And it drives me nuts. Again, this isn't me talking. It's my wife, who's a reporter. The Bears could have done this last night, but chose after getting embarrassed on national TV to bring even more humiliation on the franchise by trotting out Eberflus to do his day after press conference and then whacking him just 2 hours later for an organization that's talked about doing things differently to break cycles of past regime. This unequivocally misses the mark. What do you know about it? Like, were they able to get a hold of the owner? Was the owner a compassionate man that really didn't want to fire him? There are reports out there that the clowns in charge, although I like Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles wanted to fire him, at least Warren did, after, I don't know, an earlier game, and the owner said no. You know, there's always a backstory here, and reporters have to go about it in their own little stupid way. I don't like the way it was done. You know, you can't say it was wrong. You got to have some kind of slant on it where people go, wow, she's really smart. No, she's really stupid. I'll tell you why Courtney Cronin's really stupid in this case. First, because I think she's really stupid and bad on TV. But two, Courtney Cronin has no idea these are actually people. These are people. You got to find the owner. You got to talk to him. You got to talk to the guy you're firing. You got to make sure he's okay. And why trot him out there? Maybe they hadn't talked to the boss yet. Maybe the boss was sleeping in. Maybe the boss was hiding out. Maybe the boss was embarrassed. Maybe the boss didn't know if it was right to fire somebody. Maybe the boss was talking to his mentors. But that's what these people do, and it pisses me off. These people say and do these stupid things, and they have no idea. Zero. Like I said, she's never been in a in even a college locker room as an athlete. She's never been in administration. She's never had to fire anybody. But yet she comments on it because, well, I'm around the place. It's disgusting. No, it's just ridiculous. These are people. So you got to talk to people. You got to get a hold of people. Well, they should be right there. No. Everybody's got lives. Well, they should be right. This is their biggest thing. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You don't know. So they trotted him out there. My guess is when I saw that, I thought, well, okay, they hadn't made a decision yet. Or maybe they had, but they hadn't been able to get it cleared. Can you imagine the bitching, whining, moaning if they hadn't trotted him out there? Feelings. Oh, my God, I can't believe they didn't bring him out there if they didn't fire him. It's just so stupid. You get the dumbest of the dumb in the media, and the dumbest of the dumb deliver. Period.